Am I the asshole? For avoiding Christmas after being excluded from a wedding for being a stripper. I quit my stressful white-collar job 5 years ago and became self-employed. The thing is, my self-employment is an exotic dancer stripper entertainer. I make my own schedule, make great money, and 90% of the time, I really enjoy my job. About 3 weeks into the job, I ran into a family member's significant other. Let's call him Bob, and my family member Beth. Bob was just as surprised to see me as I was him. Bob and I both agreed to not say anything to anyone. Also, when you're hired at this club, we sign a confidentiality agreement to not speak about patrons seen in the club. I also want to mention we never touched or did a lap dance, but he saw me naked, considering the occupation. Fast forward 4 years later, Bob and Beth now getting married. And of course, it spilled out I'm a stripper and he came to my club 4 years ago. Still not sure of how everything came out. Anyways, now I'm the only family member excluded from the wedding. Mom, dad and siblings invited. Every single family member attended the wedding without issue except for my mom and dad, who decided not to attend based on the fact I was excluded. I asked them to attend regardless, considering I really am not a huge fan of weddings anyways. Now after the fact, I'm sort of bothered by it. Not by the lack of invitation, but what seems like the complete agreement from my entire family that I deserve to be excluded, excluding my parents. Siblings still attended. It's as if everyone thought, well, she's a stripper and the future husband saw her naked once, she's not invited, and everyone agreed 100. The wedding was this summer and I haven't seen my extended family since. When I said I wasn't attending Christmas with them, then there was concern came about me not being present and how I was so missed. So, am I the asshole? Not the asshole, and I disagree with anyone saying it's reasonable that she didn't invite you to the wedding. It's not reasonable because you're a stripper, and it's not reasonable because of Bob's involvement. If she's that uncomfortable with the Bob situation, then she probably shouldn't be marrying him. She would be blaming you for Bob's issues. Not the asshole. If Beth has such an issue with this, why is she not focusing on Bob being at a strip club in the first place? Everyone is saying you should have expected the judgment, which sure, there's still a lot of people that want to blame the strippers instead of their so's seeking out strip clubs. But who care if someone is a stripper anyways? Their whole judgment is based on some weird notion that it will involve more than stripping, when in actuality there's states where you aren't even fully nude if alcohol is involved. There's also the whole bouncers kicking you out for getting handsy, but why let that get in the way of judging people? The root issue though is it does something to their personal anxiety, where they question themselves and think they're the reason their so is going to the strip club. You see it on this sub all the time with other things like porn. Just because it's expected doesn't make it right, especially coming from family. You also get to have feelings in response to that judgment, and that might be that you judge them to be people not worth hanging out with. I suggest inviting your parents over for Christmas breakfast. Enjoy some time together and show them how much you value their support. Let them have an easy morning before they host the rest of the family. So the problem is that Bob saw you naked? Well, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand why you are being excluded because Bob decided to go to a strip club. That's the real problem. That Bob went to a strip club, not that you work there. Given the way everyone is treating you, I'd say not the asshole for doing anything to avoid these people. Definitely not the asshole. Why is it a problem that you are a stripper, but not that Bob goes to strip clubs? Sexist bullshit. Strange how you get the cold shoulder for your work, however he doesn't for being a customer. Double standards at play here. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your employment career decisions are none of their business, and the judgment they're passing is horrible, even it's fairly silent. You handled the situation 4 years ago with grace and didn't mention the run into anyone, or make it weird when you saw Bob Beth in person since then. Continue to protect your peace, op. Not the asshole. You weren't invited to the wedding. Same reason would stand for Christmas. BTW. What was ever said about Bob being at the strip club? How's it your fault you were at your place of work? God, people and their high horses. I posed in shorts and a tank top that said strip club choppers on the back of a motorcycle. I was fully clothed. My mom found out and the entire town thought I was a stripper. No. It was for a charity event. I kept all my cloths on and it was fun. But because the shirt said strip club choppers, I was a stripper and shammed. Even though I made no money and kept my shirt, pants and boots on. Never removed an item of clothing. It was modeling. Not stripping. But no. I'm not a model, so I must be a stripper. Your family can get over it. They made their choice. Now live with it. It's 2024 and it amazes me the world is still this misogynistic. It's funny how no one shames a chemical tycoon or oil company that caused cancer or displaced thousands of people. Bob told Beth and Beth excluded you. He saw you naked and she did not like that. Let's also say that Bob was dating Beth and still went to this club. He might have made a comment comparing your body to hers. What is funny is that it is okay for him to go see naked women at the club and not get excluded for it. Not the asshole, and maybe they should make the patrons sign confidentiality agreements to not talk about who they see either. The only people who knew were you and Bob and maybe Bob's buddies. Bob is the one who should be excluded for opening his big mouth. I would not have excluded you. What you do for work is your business. Not the asshole. How you support yourself is your business. If Beth has such a problem with what you do for a living and the fact that Bob saw you naked, maybe she needs to talk to Bob about his behavior. Kudos to your parents for supporting you and staying away from the wedding. All the hypocrites can get over themselves. Not the asshole. What were you supposed to do, throw Bob out? Refuse to do your job while he was there? The only reason I'd be understanding of Beth's anger is if she was mad you didn't tell her that Bob was at your strip club, but since that's apparently not the case, she's not entitled to your company. Not the asshole, and I'm glad your parents had your back. I want you to plan an amazing holiday vacation and treat yourself. I am 71F. And it has been a tradition for males to bond in risky establishments before I was born. Nobody can consider that a big surprise. So you are working there. You did not say if your parents knew, but it seems they are not overly bothered by it. You did not avoid them. They excluded you. They ate the souls.